Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today it's time for my Monday reads, where I talk about the books that I've been working on over the past week, what I finished, what I'm currently reading, and my plans for next week. And let's start out by saying last week was not a very successful reading week for me. I had set myself the goal of finishing 5 books. I ended up finishing 2 books, and I ended up reading a total of 1,209 pages. I also DNF'd that book. I'll talk about that briefly. So yeah, last week wasn't very successful, and there are reasons for it, I guess. First things first, last week I was sick for like 3 of the days, and when I'm sick I don't really feel like reading anything. I can focus a little bit on audios at work like that, but I'm not really good at focusing on sitting down to read. So instead I binge watched season 2 of Agent Carter, which I really enjoyed. And then I found out that Agent Carter is season 3 has been cancelled and it ends on a cliffhanger, so I'm very upset about that right now. At work I haven't been listening to as much audio as usually, because first I have had to like show some things to a new colleague, I guess, and otherwise I have had to do some things where I couldn't really listen, and it was needing my attention a lot, so I couldn't listen to an audio at the same time. And so for that, those reasons, I haven't listened to very much audio over the week either, and that is probably the main reason for me not finishing more than I have. And finally, the last and remaining thing that made me not read so much is that I started trying out crocheting, and I'm really bad at it. I can't seem to count, so all of my things look like wrong because they are not even on the sides. This one is what was closest to being correct, but then it didn't. And I tried different types of crocheting and stuff, and then yesterday I was thinking, yeah, now I can start, but then I realized this is not even, so yeah, not sure what I did wrong. But apparently I can't count. I'm gonna work more on that over this next week, so I don't know how much reading I'm gonna get in, but I'm putting on books anyway. Let's talk about the books that I did finish last week, however, and then I'll get into the plans for this week. The first book that I finished last week was my very 90s romance by Jenny Colgan. This is a standalone romance that I read for the Summer Romance Book Bingo, and I did not like this one. It's the second book I read by Jenny Colgan, and I have never really been completely into it, but this one had issues. Like, the main character was very judgmental about everyone else around her. She talked very negatively about everyone around him, and there was a lot of fat phobia, and she was talking about how this person she was having a big crush on was with the wrong person, and because he'd met her on the internet, she would make sure that he would find out that she was the right thing. And and she keeps saying that his girlfriend was possessive, yet she is very understanding and lets him do a lot of stuff and actually helps him out and says, you should definitely be friends with your roommates, you should do everything to be friends with your roommates. She was living abroad, they were a long distance thing. And so that didn't really add up, in my opinion, with what it said it was about, and I just didn't really like it at all, and I ended up giving it 2 out of 5 stars. I thought the message was very bad, and I didn't like the main character, and it was just not for me. So I think I'm gonna put down Jennifer Colgan for now. I've tried her 2 times now, and I've never really been completely happy with what I read from her. The next thing that I finished last week was The Walls of Winnipeg and Me by Mariana Zapata. I was very highly anticipating this book because I read Culty last year and I loved it. This one I knew wouldn't have the same sentimental value as Culty had, but I still really enjoyed it. I thought it had a bit of a slow start, a bit of a weak start maybe, because it was difficult for me to get into the characters. But as time went on, I really grew fond of them. It was a 600-page, almost 700-page book. That doesn't happen a lot with contemporaries, but Mariana Zapata writes really great haters to friends to lovers plot. So she takes a lot of time establishing a friendship from this angsty, hating thing between them, and then turns it into a romance later. That's at least what it's been like with the other book that I've read as well. And that is my like favorite trope. If you can do that, then it's amazing. I do enjoy haters to lovers, but haters to friends to lovers is the best thing. So I was very happy about that, and I think she did it really well again. So I ended up giving it a 4 out of 5 stars, and will definitely recommend it. And then I DNF'd Circe by Madeline Miller. I read Song of Achilles last year, and I really didn't very much enjoy it. I am in the minority of this, but I didn't really like it because she has a writing style I don't really get into. I don't really like literary fiction, and it was sort of the same thing here. I didn't really like it that much. I might have finished it if it wasn't because it was expiring from my library, but I'm not gonna loan it. I'm not gonna put my hold on it again. I'd rather read something else because I wasn't completely into it. So I decided to DNF it, and I'm not feeling bad about it. And I decided for myself that Madeline Miller is just not my type of author, and I'm happy a lot of other people like her, but I think if I would have finished it, I'd probably have given it 2 or 3 stars anyway. So it's not something I thought worthy of my time at this point, especially considering I was very slumpy last week. So those are things that I finished / DNF'd. Let's get into my plans for next week. I will say that I did manage to get to 42% of Circe before I stopped. So I did read quite a bit. I was on page 157 of the book, according to my calculations, I guess. My plans for next week are as follows. In my total numbers, I have definitely lowered it from compared to last week, but I have a total of 1,789 pages with an average of 255 pages per day. It's a lot more doable, and I'll get into my books that I'm planning on finishing and all of that right now. The first thing that I would like to finish this week is Hands of Oberon by Roger Zelazny. I didn't touch this last week at all, sadly. I was hoping to have gotten through a chapter or 2, but I would like to try and finish it this week because a new month is coming next month, and I have to read the next one in July. So I'd like to have it finished before I start July, if I can. I'd also like to finish Fire Touch by Patricia Briggs because I did start this last week. I managed to get 221 out of 340, so I have about 221 pages left. I'm already very much enjoying it, so I'm looking forward to see how this is all gonna go with this book, and definitely want to finish this as well. Another book that I started but did not finish is Fullmetal Alchemist Volume 10. I think I read the first 50 pages. This was something I tried to read when I was sick, but I couldn't really get into it. I didn't want to read it and not get the full value of the story, so I decided to put it down and save it for later. The last and final thing that I would like to try and finish, I actually started this book last week and I didn't talk about it yet, but I started Through the Grinder by Cleo Coyle. This is the second book in the Coffee House Mystery series, and I listened to like 20 minutes of this, so it was not very much, and I hope to finish this one. Is 8 hours long, so in my speed it's 4 hours long, and I will listen to this one at home when I cook, when I do stuff at home, so hopefully I can get through that and it won't be a problem, and maybe I can start something else. Another thing that I would like to start and finish this week is Devil in Winter by Lisa Kleypas. This is going to be my audio at work for this week, and I know I'm going to finish this one, but I don't know how much else I'm going to get through because last week was so low on my audio reading, and I don't think this week will be much better, but I don't know. So I'm hoping I can squeeze more in, but I'm definitely leaving this one as my main focus, and then we'll see what happens. Then I have books to start. I put down 2 books that I might try and start, and we'll see how it goes. And the first one of those is another audio, and that's the Unhoneymooners by Christina. This is one I'll try and start after Devil in Winter if I finish that. I've heard very great things about this one, so I'm looking forward to reading it, and I've never read anything by Christina before, and I know she's a pretty popular author on BookTube. And the last thing that I put on my list is for my physical reading. If I finish the things that I have, I'm going to attempt starting A List of Cages by Robin Rowe, because this is my Lala's favorite, and I haven't touched this book all month, and it was supposed to be read in July, but I know I'm gonna finish it, but maybe if I can start it and I can put another Lala's favorite on next month, and we'll see. So those are my plans for this next week, and in total, to finish my priority reads, I need to read 67 pages per day, so that's not too bad. I should be able to do that, but I don't know. And I will need to listen to 1 hour and 17 minutes per day to finish those 2 audiobooks that I have on my list, and that's not very much either. So hopefully that will definitely be manageable, and we will see how it goes with next week. Again, I had a week where I didn't upload anything else than this Monday reads, but I have plans to film something maybe over the week, I don't know, but otherwise this weekend. And then we have TBR wrap-ups and stuff coming in by the end of the month as well. So I have plans, but I've been really swamped with things the past couple of weeks, so I haven't really been feeling like filming, and because I was sick last week, it definitely added to it. So I hope it's okay, but at least I do this Monday check-in, and we'll see how things go. But yeah, let me know in the comments down below what you've been reading over the past week. Have you read anything interesting you'd like to recommend to me? Have you read any of the books that I've been reading this past week, and what did you think of them? And do you have any exciting plans for your reading this next week? Let me know about that as well. And yeah, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Bye.